Visy Beverage Cartons is a division of Visy Industries, the world's largest privately owned packaging and recycling company. In Australia, Visy Beverage Cartons holds the licence for SIG Combi Block and Elopack beverage packaging. The production facility in Melbourne, Australia needed new printing capacity to cope with significant additional demand due to a growing customer base. Plant manager John Allbur explains how OFS was an integral part in helping to save millions of dollars during the startup and commissioning phase of the new state-of-the-art printing press.
We had significant capacity constraint within the business to meet at that point, the Heinz Golden Circle business. Without the press, there's no way we could meet that demand. Bringing the OFS X product into the business here allowed us to really monitor and measure what the supplier of the equipment was telling us the press would deliver versus what it was actually delivering. Once we got into testing the pieces of kit and running it up to speed, what they said it would do in terms of its rotary speed was accurate. What they said it would do in terms of across all the various format sizes didn't deliver as quick as they said. It couldn't get the colour at the speed they said. Their job changes they said we can do in 2 minutes per station, and it's turned out to be 10 times that. We have held nearly $1.5 million back in payment that they have now agreed to that won't ever be paid because they couldn't deliver on the KPIs. Now really without a product, a monitoring or any type of way to measure that, and the OFS X product for us was the vehicle to use. There's no way we could have held them to account on that, and if we'd used their figures, which were very simplistic in terms of the way it measures, they would have got paid and we would have been left with an underperforming line. From my perspective, without the tool, I reckon we probably would have had a further 250 grand's worth of additional costs. Had the timeline sort of blown out, but because they knew we were paying precise attention and we could prove that, and some of it's web-based and they could log in themselves and have a look if they wanted to, but that accountability kept them on their toes. When we got down and said, well guys, it's not a 16-minute job change, it's more like an hour and a half, and on a capacity component, that's a game changer. Now that we've had some run time on the machine, we did notice through looking at the data that when you push shutdown on the machine, so winding down in natural circumstances, the tailing off was 150 metres of rubbish, effectively. Whereas when you hit an emergency stop button, you would only have 50 metres of rubbish. So we said, well, without the data from OFS X, how could we have said to them, well, if you can emergency stop it in 50 and you're not doing any damage to the machine, why can't you reconfigure it so when we push stop in a controlled fashion, it stops in 50 metres a minute? And they agreed to obviously do that, and that's how the machine is configured now. Well, that's a fair bit. That's a lot of saving for us. I mean, every week, every time we turn the machine off, that's 100 metres saved. We haven't quantified that, but that's a significant amount of dollars and material at the end of the year. And they're one of the big input costs is raw material. So, in terms of the tool from today to go forward though, now it really starts to have what I consider as its real use in horsepower, and that's giving feedback to the guys on the issues that they raise through the comments fields, and then more importantly from a pure commercial aspect, is to now say, okay, here's the milestones we've been averaging, now it's time to make improvement. And without the tool, it's impossible. If you can't measure the game, it's impossible to win. Now we look at things like, where do we have to improve? What can be done with that? What are we seeing around downtime? What are the chief causes? How do we stop that? Without the data though, how would you even commence the conversation? I would just say, well, show us the facts or lay silent. So I think having those facts are paramount to getting them to hold to account.
For more information on how OFS can help your business achieve sustained productivity and efficiency improvement, or to request a personal demonstration of the software, please visit www.ofsystems.com.